My name is Eliana. I am 90 years old now. People often ask me what it feels like to live this long. I tell them it feels heavy, so very heavy. Because when you live nearly a century, you don't just carry your own years. You carry the ghosts of everyone you've lost. I have seen things no one should ever see. I have walked through fire and ash. I have breathed air poisoned by death itself. I have buried my children with these trembling hands. And I have stood in silence while the sky above Hiroshima split open in a blinding flash, swallowing the man I loved more than life itself. I survived. But sometimes, survival feels like punishment. Behind these wrinkles and beneath this frail voice, there was once a girl who laughed easily, who believed in love, who thought the world was wide and beautiful. Before the war, before the bombs, before the horror, I was simply Eliana, a young woman from Chicago, and this is my story. It did not begin in fire. It began with love. I was born in the bustling city of Chicago. My father owned a small bookshop, a quiet corner filled with the comforting scent of ink and paper. My mother filled our evenings with music, her fingers dancing across the piano keys, weaving melodies into our home. Then, one rainy afternoon, fate walked into our bookshop. His name was Hayato, a young man from Japan, far from home and drenched by the storm. His dark hair clung to his forehead, his eyes deep and mysterious, as if they held entire oceans. Our hands brushed over the same shelf of books, and for a heartbeat, the whole world seemed to pause. I smiled. He looked down shyly and gave a small bow. Just a fleeting encounter, but it changed everything. They say love is simple when you are young, but for me and Hayato, it was never simple. We were strangers in a crowded city, but slowly, like two hidden streams meeting beneath the ground, our lives intertwined. At first we met only by chance, at the bookshop, the little cafe on Wabash Avenue, or by the lake where moonlight shimmered silver on the water. He spoke softly, searching for the right English words. I teased him, saying his accent made ordinary words sound like poetry. His shy smile warmed me more than any fire ever could, but even in these moments, shadows lurked. Chicago was not always kind to someone who looked different or spoke differently. People whispered when they saw us together. Some stared openly, faces twisted with suspicion and hatred. My parents, they were no exception. My father believed in books and ideas, but when it came to my heart, he was a man of his time. Eliana, he said sternly, this is America. Don't let yourself be carried away by someone who can never truly belong. My mother said nothing, the silence cutting just as deep. I was torn in two, between duty and love, between the comfort of home and the pull of something far greater. But when I looked in Hayato's eyes, I knew I could never walk away. One evening, beneath the dim glow of a street lamp, he finally confessed, Eliana, I am not rich. I am not powerful. I have only my heart. But if you take it, it will be yours forever. My breath caught. No one had ever spoken to me with such honesty, such devotion. In that moment, the world outside ceased to exist. Not the whispers, not my father's disapproval, not the walls of culture or fear. I took his hands in mine and whispered, Then it is mine, Hayato. And I am yours. From that night forward, we belonged to each other. It was a love fragile yet fierce, a candle flame burning bravely against the wind. Every stolen glance, every secret meeting, every exchanged word whispered in darkened rooms, it was all we had. But it was enough. For a time, it was more than enough. Love can give you wings. But sometimes, it also puts you on trial. As my love for Hayato deepened, the world around us seemed to shrink. My father's warnings grew harsher. Eliana, you don't understand. The world is changing. Japan is not our friend. You're walking into a storm. His hand slammed the bookshop counter so hard the shelves shook. But storms cannot scare a heart claimed by love. Father, he is not Japan. He is Hayato. He is the man I love. My words fell against walls of fear. Whispers grew louder. Neighbors stopped greeting me. A childhood friend said I was making a mistake, that people like us were not meant to be. Her words hurt more than I let show. And yet, looking at Hayato, I knew I could never turn back. He worried for us. One night, voice trembling, he said, "Eliana, maybe we should stop. It might be easier if we end this now." Losing him made my chest ache, splitting apart. I held his hands tightly. "No, Hayato. I'd rather walk into the storm with you than live safely without you." Tears welled in his eyes. That night, under Chicago's stars, he asked me to be his wife, not with a ring, but with a whispered promise. "Will you walk with me, no matter where life takes us?" 1,000 times yes, I answered simply. We married quietly. Only a handful of friends dared to stand with us. My parents did not come. My father never forgave me. My mother wrote one letter months later. "Take care of yourself, my daughter." That was all. Soon after, Hayato learned his father was ill. Duty called him home to Japan. Guilt shadowed his eyes. "I cannot stay here, but I cannot ask you to leave your home. I will go where you go," I whispered through tears. With only suitcases and love, I left Chicago behind and sailed across the ocean to a new world. Japan. Hiroshima, beautiful and heartbreakingly foreign. The journey was long and uncertain. I stood on deck, wind biting my face, wondering if I was foolish to leave everything behind. My country, my family, my language, all adrift somewhere across that vast sea. Hiroshima welcomed us quietly. Hayato's family lived in a wooden house with sliding doors and tatami floors. I was a stranger, awkward in kimono and language. His mother studied me with sharp eyes. Neighbors whispered about the foreign bride. But Hayato never let me feel alone. He translated, laughed with me when I stumbled over words, held my hand under tables, and whispered, "Give them time. They will see your heart." And he was right. Slowly the city softened around me. We planted a garden, watched lanterns float on rivers, and I began teaching neighborhood children English. Their laughter became music to me. Our greatest joy came, our children. First a son, with Hayato's eyes and my smile. Then a daughter, filling our small home with life. For a while, life was warm and bright, but beneath the warmth a storm gathered. Japan restless. Whispers of war in the newspapers, neighbors growing anxious. Fear crept into everything. My country of birth suddenly made me a stranger here, eyes filled with suspicion. Hayato tried to shield me. "Don't let their fear touch you. Our family is stronger than rumors, but fear reaches even the smallest cracks." Rice and food were rationed. Markets whispered disputes. I learned to stretch every grain, every drop of oil. Hayato's face grew more worn each day. Air raid sirens screamed. Families huddled in shelters with trembling children. The world was fracturing around us. One morning, August 6, 1945, the air was different, heavy, electric with dread. Then, the flash. A blinding white light burned the sky. For a moment I thought the sun had fallen. Our house shook. Glass shattered like deadly rain. Hayato shielded me and the children. The heat was unbearable. I tried to run, but the world was gone. The streets vanished. Buildings turned to ash and rubble. Smoke clouded my lungs. Screams filled the choking air. I saw Hayato struggling towards me, bloodied but alive. But then the blast tore us apart. I searched endlessly in the ruins. Our children, his face, our home. But only silence answered. I was alone. Hiroshima was a ghost, a grave, a memory burned deep in my soul. The days after were a blur of grief and survival. We scavenged scraps, shared what little remained, leaned on each other in brokenness. Yet, in the deepest sorrow, love lingered. I carried their memory through years of loneliness and quiet suffering. Hiroshima rebuilt, life returned, but for me, the past never left. I walk the riverbank, watch lanterns float, whisper to the wind. I have learned that grief never leaves. It changes but remains, and love. Love never dies. It lives in memory, in heart, in stories told and retold. I am Eliana, survivor, bearer of stories. And as I close my eyes tonight, I whisper to the sky above Hiroshima, I have loved. I have lost, and I carry it all within me.